Awolowo Road is a commercial area in the luxury hub called Ikoyi in Lagos State. This neighborhood is one of the fastest growing areas in the state and home to the headquarters of many notable organizations. Welcome to Inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeniyi.
For the third time in 10 days, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has identified with the protests against the dissolved Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. The governor braved all odds on Monday to address the protesters in Lekki, where crowds of youths camped and blocked the expressway. He urged them to be decorous and peaceful while expressing their grievances against the excessive use of force by SARS. The governor left the weekly meeting of the State Executive Council and moved to address the End SARS protesters. Governor Sanwo-Olu told the demonstrators that their protest was legitimate but pleaded with them not to block the roads while passing on their grievances to the authorities.
Well, it's really the first time that your voice is now being heard loud and clear. It's not the first time that indeed your voice is spoken loud. And I want to commend all of you for that. How do we take this forward? Mention 5 things that you want the government to do ASAP, right? And part of the things you have said is that we need to do a full police reform. And I want to say to you that I understand that the Amin Kadim have been cultured. I'm aware that if you are man, I'm aware that Aneka Okore, I'm aware that Ayomide Taiwo, I'm aware that Kolawole Joshua, I'm aware that Christina Ugochukwu, I'm aware that Chidinma and God's Power Edono, amongst a little list of people that we need to your agenda is we need to get to the family, and indeed this is a good one. And I'm certain that we can identify them. That's what I've said. We don't want it to be unruly. When you have leadership, then we can pick each one of them out and deal with it. The president in his address said clearly that all the officers that have come culpable, they are going to face.
The governor agreed with the demand of the protesters on reforms in the operations of law enforcement agencies, adding that the state government would work with the police leadership on compensation for the family members of victims of SARS brutality in Lagos State. The police have released all those arrested during the End SARS protests following the directives of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The individual released are Inkema Kolam Opara Felicia, female 27 years, Unduka Treasure Chiamaka, female 21 years, Adefila Olanrewaju, male, Adeola Adebayo, male, Ayodeji Ayeni, male, and Adebola Ojabudu. Governor Sanwo-Olu also reiterated the need for youths to reciprocate the Lagos State government's gesture by shunning further protests and allow the government to take steps to resolve the situation that sparked the protests.
Lagos State government has inaugurated a holding bay and high care unit for suspected COVID-19 patients. The facility located at the premises of the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, LASUTH, in Ikeja is expected to enhance treatment of infectious diseases in the state.
The holding bay may be coming after the peak of the pandemic, but the fact is that the virus is still out there and very serious.
This holding bay is not a treatment center. It can only help relieve the burden of suspected COVID-19 patients whose fates are yet to be ascertained. Suspected patients can stay here as long as their result is out and then get transferred to the appropriate quarters.
There are 7 patients currently receiving attention here. This man is one of them. His test result came in as at the time of this report, and it is positive for COVID-19. Many patients have died due to unknown health status. This 20-bed facility would help save those whose lives hung in the balance, like him. This is what the wife of the governor and the commissioner for health have come to inaugurate for public awareness and use.
While other efforts at managing the pandemic had been largely successful, considering the number of cases that had been successfully treated and the reduction in the number of new cases, it is important to emphasize that now is not the time for us to rest on our oars. Rather, it is a time to remain conscious of the pandemic and to continue to intensify efforts of flattening the curve. Before now, the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital had to make do with a quarantine holding bay which was opened in August 2020 for suspected COVID-19 patients, where over 200 suspected cases have been seen and over 30 patients have been admitted for treatment and some transferred to other various isolation centers across the state for intensive care and observations as the case may be. In the light of the foregoing, the state has seen the need to have an isolation bay in LASUTH for confirmed cases. This purpose-built self-contained 20-bed facility has a provision for 4 intensive care units with high-tech medical equipment and personnel that will provide specialized care services to confirm patients and allow for LASUTH to manage and treat not just COVID-19 cases, but other forms of contagious diseases in the long run. On this note, let me specially express my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Adetokunbo Fabanwo, the Chief Medical Director, and the entire management and staff of LASUTH for the role they played in helping the state manage the pandemic right from before the lockdown phase to this very moment. Let me also use this moment to specially recognize and celebrate the bravery and courage and dedication of our frontline health workers who have committed themselves to helping the state to win the battle against the pandemic. We assure you of our state's continued support to the healthcare workers and the healthcare system at large. I enjoin all Lagosians not to relent in observing all the COVID-19 guidelines and protocols. Let us continue to wash our hands for 20 seconds regularly, maintain social distance, and use our face masks regularly.
COVID is definitely not gone. We've managed to take the wind out of its sails and reduce the panic in the community by a very aggressive approach right from the outset.
This is the first of its kind in the country. LASUTH Chief Medical Director tells us why it is imperative at this time.
This is about the only one of its kind in Nigeria, and the whole idea is that people who are COVID suspects, who normally other facilities may not want to admit because they don't know their status, we will be able to keep them here, run their tests, and await the outcome of the test, and then we can know what to do with them. If they are negative, then they enter the hospital and get the care that they need. If they are positive, then we ship them to the infectious diseases hospitals. So that's the idea of the holding bay, as different from an isolation bay, which is for the treatment of COVID positive patients. This one is a mixed world, you have suspects. Some may turn out to be positive, some will turn out to be negative. So that's why we have to have individual cubicles for them, so that the positives among them cannot infect the ones that are negative. Now, the eye care unit is to be able to take care of COVID positive patients who have respiratory problems. As you know, respiratory distress is one of the killers of COVID positive patients, one of the complications they can have that will lead to death. So in that eye care unit, we have ventilators, we have other gadgets that will assist us in managing COVID positive patients who have respiratory distress.
You see, this is a teaching hospital, and we get in referred patients that are usually complicated cases. So necessarily we have patients that have poor prognosis ab initio when they get to the hospital, because they are already referred from another center that probably cannot take care of them. So we tend to have, you cannot use our mortality rate to be compared with any other center, because we are taking on their burden. But I can tell you that with this facility we have here and the equipment that have been provided in there, the patients that will be taken care of there stand better chance of survival now as it is. Any patient that is suspected of COVID, not all of them will require eye care. A good number of them will require routine treatment for COVID. And as has been said here today, such patients will still be taken care of at the other isolation centers around the state. But those ones that will require specialized care will be taken on here, and we will take care of them.
Former chairman Onigbongbo Local Council is the main donor of this facility.
I believe that this is something that will benefit humanity. You know, it's a CSR project for our company. We observe a piece of land just beside your oncology department there, and we would like to build an oncology ward there.
These are the list of donors led by Honorable Idowu Sholale Obasa, and this empty space means that this holding bay and high care unit is still open for donations. The mission statement for this agency is to reduce to the bare.
Nigeria has announced its first confirmed case of the novel
It's begun in
coronavirus.
Wuhan.
Nearly 24 hours after tally from confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Nigeria.
The Lagos State government officially handed over the biosecurity unit. About 500 people, out of it 70 to 80 are positive daily.
Adedoja, thank you. We see all the good work you are doing on your TV station. We just want to encourage you to continue to do that.
All is now set for the 20th edition of the National Women's Conference of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, Council. Chairman of the committee and the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, stated this at a briefing last Thursday. We were there.
Good morning. Good morning.
It is the pre-event press briefing to announce the forthcoming National Women's Conference.
Details of the activity.
Last year, The National Women's Conference was attended with more than 3,000 participants. But the wife of the governor and the chairman of the committee says this year is different due to COVID-19 pandemic.
There will be minimum number of dignitaries, resource persons and participants at the physical venue at the Convention Center of Eco Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos, from where activities of the conference will be beamed live to the public. I must add that all relevant and necessary COVID-19 guidelines will be strictly adhered to at this physical venue, while only credited individuals will gain access to the said venue. As we may recall, the theme of the 19th edition of NWC held last year was Unlearn, Learn and Relearn, 21st Century Women's Teams Perspective Approach. The theme was in line with the policy thrust of the administration of Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, to equip participants with skills and information necessary to tap into the emerging opportunities in key sectors, and most importantly, imbibe the time-tested virtues of accepting that learning is a never-ending process. This year, we have again selected a team geared towards equipping participants with the skills and information to cope and stay above board in these interesting times, when the world is contending with unplanned, unanticipated, and unprecedented health crisis in human existence, COVID-19 pandemic.
This year's theme, Exploring the Possibilities in a New World, was also carefully selected to help women toe the line of the new normal and realities in the midst of the pandemic.
As it is the tradition of the conference to strategically empower women and youth to contribute positively to the development of the states and Nigeria at large, this year's theme was carefully selected in line with the new normal that is now the order of the day. COVID-19 has practically changed life as we used to know it. We now have the new normal and the new realities in all spheres of human endeavor. And as a proactive organization, CALSO is already thinking post-COVID, where women can explore possibilities in a new world and take good advantage of an unprecedented crisis. At this point, it is pertinent to note that Her Excellency, Mother of the Nation and Nigeria's First Lady, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has graciously accepted to be the Mother of the Day and will declare the conference open, while His Excellency, Governor Gboyega Oyetola of the State of Osun is the special guest of honor at the opening ceremony. The theme of the conference and sub-themes will be examined by seasoned academic and accomplished professionals in various spheres of life who have been carefully selected to thoroughly dissect the topics. Some of the topics are the woman's physical and mental health, very germane, legal rights of women, inheritance, widows, gender equality in the workplace and divorce, investment opportunities and wealth building for today's women, promoting family unit as the bedrock of the society, opportunities and importance of agriculture, digital technology and social media, environmental sanitation and personal hygiene, domestic violence and rape, among other topics. There will not be, as usual, any gala night this year. The conference will hold from 9 to 2 p.m. daily. However, other exciting activities have been lined up to make the conference worthwhile for the participants. We will also present the Inspirational Woman of the Year Award, as well as Outstanding Achievement Awards to 3 distinguished individuals who have contributed immensely to the growth and development of CALSO over the years. These individuals have served CALSO diligently, and they deserve to be celebrated.
This year, only 200 people will be allowed to participate physically at the venue of the event with full observation of COVID-19 safety protocols. Other participants are to join the conference virtually. Meanwhile, the women surprised one of their own, the wife of the Deputy Governor Oluremi Hamzat, with a saxophonist on her birthday.
And that's a package on this edition of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. Remember that COVID-19 is still out there. Always observe all the health safety guidelines. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni. See you next time. Bye-bye.